What's up guys, this is Sean and welcome to another episode of the iherng podcast, and as always this episode is brought to you by Bottom Slab, which is the pants that I'm wearing right now. Also I'm wearing them to all the property reviews, and they have just launched a brand new jeans series. Those are pretty cool, and if you guys are interested, I will just put the discount link down below. And today we will answer a question from email. This is from Dan. Hey Sean, I'm having a bit of a dilemma here. Perhaps you can share this with the community and see if others had the same issue. This is a long one, so bear with me. I have a landed property which is a nice mature neighborhood in Saujana, Impian, Kajang, nearby the Saujana Golf Club. Lotus is nearby. There is a 7-Eleven about 3 minutes drive. It's a terrace house, 24 by 75 in size. It's kinda gated, where we have security at the front with boom gate. Loan left around 100,000 only, and we only finance it around 700 a month due to the huge down payment. I figured that the house can sell around 600 over 1,000, maybe 620,000 if we try to stretch it. There was a recent purchase these few years at that price point, not sure after COVID though. Now with all the positive points above, there's only one thing which makes me go mental. It's the traffic. Having the MRT nearby does not help much. Still need to drive there, which is around 15 minutes of driving plus parking. And during pre-COVID days, the parking is always full by 8:30 and cars already flooded by the roadside all the way until Lotus. The station, being almost at the end of the line, may take 35 minutes commute time from station to station in order to get to the city centre, let's say Bukit Bintang station. So I drive to my office in PJ, and it's normal for me to commute for 1.5 hours up to 2 hours. In total, it can get up to 4 hours in a day just stuck in traffic. I am now considering to move into an apartment. I saw one of your video in Wangsa Maju apartment, Queen to be exact, and there is an LRT next to it, and more interesting, there is also all necessities nearby, such as the Wang Sabok Mall, the cinema, etc., all in walking distance. Here is the dilemma. Would you trade your landed for an apartment, which at this time of writing, the apartment costs more? Money is not an issue by the way, but I have 3 kids, 2 in primary school, 1 in secondary. We also have 2 cats. My bigger objective is to settle down where it is super easy to commute, where car dependent will be much less. My wife and kids have freedom to move about. What do you think? Is it a good idea? Appreciate your feedback. Dan. So thank you very much for the email, Dan. I really appreciate all the context, and when you worry about the length, right, this is not the longest one, so it's fine. Just to sum it all up, you will have a 24 by 75, that classic Nasi Lemak property in Kajang. Selling price is around 600,000, pushing it 620. You guys are only paying around 700 for your monthly installment because of the heavy down payment. The consideration of moving into the city centre, into an apartment that is connected directly to the LRT, it's because of the bad traffic where you are staying. Should it be considered? Also, money is not an issue. So first of all, let's address a few things. Like if you are living in the landed property, right, technically you are going to drive everywhere, especially if you have those like very nice strata developments where there's a lot of landscape, a lot of infrastructure instilled into the development. Residents will be very car dependent, and residents will always need to fight for car parks among the neighborhood itself. Then the second thing to actually bring up is this term called TOD, transit oriented development, where you guys are very familiar. You guys have heard me talk about this many times already. Is when a mixed development where you have an office, retail mall, hotel, and residence all built together, plus a direct access or a walking connection to a LRT or an MRT station. That is called a transit-oriented development, where convenience is just top priority. In such project, you will be very self-sustaining. Technically, you don't need a car if your office or workplace is also connected to the train station. For example, KLCC, TRX, and etc. Then actually, there's another term called TAD, transit adjacent developments. Means there's a measurement between 5 kilometers or walking distance. I'm not too sure about the terminology. It's not a definite standard anyway. It just means that developments that is close to MRT stations. But the biggest problem for Malaysia is our weather, which is wet and hot. Whenever we walk more than 5 minutes or 10 minutes, right, it's no longer valid for walking. Just imagine if you put on a suit and tie for the best presentation that you're going to give to your boss, by the time you walk out from your residence to the train station, whole body wet already. Sometimes even waiting for Grab also wet already. And that's a huge problem. That's why projects of TOD makes more sense during investment. Those are the investments that I will consider. It's either yes, TOD, no, very exclusive. Anywhere in between, right, where you are paying a little bit more premium just to be a little bit more closer. Yeah. And the main pain point for Dan right now is the amount of time wasted to travel. Like, we somewhat are kind of accustomed to the work from home situation already. Unfortunately, a lot of people have been recalled back into their workplace in the office, right? So not everybody can decide whether to work from home or office. Especially if you are the boss, right? Would you just let your employees work from home when the malls are open, when the zoos are open, when everything else is open? During lockdown, I can understand because where else are they going to go? They are not going to go anywhere else. Mama all closed, karaoke, entertainment center, commercial area all closed. So they will quietly just sit at home and work lah. But at this current situation where we are at the endemic phase already, everybody open already, does it still make sense to let your employees just go free? That really depends on the employer itself, whether do they have the trust or do they have the system to monitor, or was it agreed upon when the staffs were onboarding into the company. Also, one thing lately, right, the traffic around the city is just insane. Like, you go Raya, also jam, you are in KL, also jam, you stay at home, also jam. I also don't know why this phenomenon is happening. But coming back to Dan's point, that 4 hours means a lot from my point of view. And I like the fact that he is actively trying to resolve that. So just imagine extra 4 hours a day. A week is 24, a month is 112 hours, a lot of time. So because of that, Dan is considering to move from the landed into a high-rise. Specifically the one in Wangsa Maju, where it's directly in front of the LRT station, the Sri Rampai one. And the benefit for that is also walking distance to Wangsa Walk and the commercial area around, which is very friendly for the family. So the wife and kids can just walk out and go to the mall when he's at work or whatsoever. So to me, immediate response is yes. Several reasons. Number one, it shortens the travel time. Therefore, maybe I will save up 100 hours a month. And just imagine what I can do with that 100 hours. I can put into a business and watch that business grow. I can put into my body, then the fitness will improve. There's a lot of things that I can do with the time. You can even spend more with the family, so it's more loving or whatsoever. The second thing will be the possibility of this new project that you are considering as well. Let's say you are buying this because of the convenience. Initially, you want to host your family here. Maybe after your youngest kid goes to secondary school, or the two elder one goes to uni already, so it's left only 3 of y'all. Then maybe you want to retire, you want to take a step back in life, right? You no longer want to just hustle in KL anymore. You can always go back to Kajang, and guess what will happen to this project? This product is very suitable for investment because of its proximity to all its amenities and connectivity to the train station. Also highways, you have the MRR2 there, and that area is really picking up. By the way, we are talking about Wangsa Maju here. For those who didn't get it, in my opinion, these are the products that is very safe to venture into. But just bear in mind that the building will be up in maybe another 2 to 3 years time. And number 3, since money is not an issue, right? By all means, man, I will spend a lot of money so I will have better convenience. I will always pay for convenience, then only comfort, then only space. Well, that's my priority. So maybe for those who have different priorities, you guys can comment down below. So at this stage right now, it's kind of obvious that I'm very pro to you moving into that apartment lifestyle, but it's very important to have this communication with your family in terms of the moving of location. Suddenly all your children's friends or your wife's friend, all from Kajang or whatsoever, suddenly uproot and put them in Wangsa Maju. It might be a culture shock. Suddenly when your kids go to school, they might not have the same friends anymore. They will need some time in adapting again. Well, anything for the father, because you are still the breadwinner of the family, right? But I always think it's good to have this communication with the family members. Then a different lifestyle that you will have by living in an apartment versus an individual title house. Suddenly you will need to be in a group of people where a lot of people will not like it usually because this will be the JMB, which is the management committee, and all the neighbors within one group chat, and people will complain basically about everything. Hey, why the rubbish bin is there? Hey, whose car park here? Hey, why this plant dying? Hey, why this light spoil already? Why this light whatever? It's like a complaint portal. In comparison to a landed one, right, you have less people, so kinda less problem too. Then ultimately, the difference between landed and high-rise will be the relationship with our cars. So the best thing about landed is we get to drive the car and park right in front of the car porch. That is the best thing about landed. High-rise has better facilities. It's actually more comfortable. Cars are shaded as well. But you just don't have that very nice relationship with your car, because every time you think about going to the car, I need to go through don't know how many doors, the front door, second gate, go to the lift, one door, lift, go down. Sometimes there's a different lift to the basement, take another lift, go down. I missed out my wallet, and then you go up again. So that's some of the frustrations of living in a high-rise, but there are also a lot of benefits where you have the facilities, there's amazing swimming pool, views, and most importantly, the three main points of the convenience, potential of investment, and getting your 4 hours per day time. That's important. So something to also think about will be the action plan for your landed house right now. Selling it might be one way. You might consider renting it out also. Definitely you will have some positive cash flow because of the heavy capital outlay earlier, right? Also something to consider, like, is it worth it for the amount of cash being locked in that property? Do you want to consider refinancing it, taking the money out and put into an investment property for it to grow better? That's entirely up to you. Or you want to keep it and pass it to your children later, also fine. And I think that's all for my decision. What I really like about this particular email is the reality of MRT. Then a great thing that Dan highlight is the distance from Kajang to city center ultimately. Yes, although MRT, but you are still traveling a very long way. And if that's a requirement by your job, then no choice right? And in conclusion, anytime I'm supportive for convenience first, then comfort, then size. So even when I'm planning to get a landed property, right, I will still somewhat consider a landed property within matured amenities, within the right connections, not too far away from the city. And it's very important to also match preference in accordance to your work arrangement. Ultimately, our days are dictated by our work most of the time. We work for 9 hours, 10 hours. In Dan's case, traveling takes more time, so maybe 12 hours a day. It's very important then to make decisions of your lodging in accordance to your work arrangement. If you're a freelancer or you're a self-employed person, you can travel anytime you want. Then you can afford to stay a little bit further, where with the same price you get something bigger, something more comfortable. But if you really needs to be in the CBD, you really need to be in Jalan Tun Razak or Bukit Bintang or Times Square, right? I think choosing a TOD or choosing to stay in the city, right, that's the best arrangement. Plus there will be excellent investment properties anyway. And with that, thank you very much for your email. And for those who are watching, do share your opinion as well in the comments down below, so we kind of have more reference for the person who asks questions in the future. And if you really have any questions, do email me at taniherng@gmail.com, or you can just DM me on Instagram, iherng, and I will see you on the next one. Ciao!